Hello and a good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good and with the tube. Hope you're all today feeling grand and all's well in your world. Hello everybody. Welcome to the NQ Wednesday, everybody. Let's get to question one. Let's go. Okay, so question one today is, have you tried the Fender Player Series and Classic Vibe Strats, and which one would you prefer? Okay, so I haven't tried the Fender Player Series at all. In all fairness, I don't remember the last time I actually tried a new Fender was. It would have been, when would I? It must have been old hat. That must have been the last time. The last time I probably played a new Fender definitely would have been old hat. So we're looking about 2015. So it's been a while, people of the tube, but I haven't been able to play new Fenders. But you know that's okay. I have tried the Classic Vibe Strats, and the Classic Vibe Strats are ridiculously amazing. But the choice between the two, I can't answer that question because I haven't tried the Fender Player, so I don't know. So I'm going to put this question out there to you lot, the people of the tube. So anybody out there who's played the Fender Player Strats and the Classic Vibe, which one do you prefer and why? You know, why do you prefer the Classic Vibe over the Fender Player, or why do you prefer the Fender Player over the Classic Vibe? Let us know in the comment section below, because like I said, I don't really know. I mean, I love the Classic Vibes. I mean, Classic Vibes are stunning. You know, they really are amazing guitars. They really are amazing. But I haven't tried the Fender Player, so I can't. It would be very disingenuous for me to comment and say, oh, well, the Classic Vibe's definitely better. How do you know? You don't know, Dave. So we're not going to answer that one like that. So I'm going to put it out there for people with the tube. So hopefully there'll be a comment below where somebody played both and they can give you their honest opinion on which one they preferred and why. And, you know, you can hopefully go from there. But I say, for me, I don't know. I've only tried the Classic Vibes. I love the Classic Vibes. I think they're immense. I haven't played a bad one. I've tried quite a lot of Classic Vibes, and they're just consistently mega. You know, they really are. So I love the Classic Vibes. But I say, the Fender Player, I don't know. I've never tried one, so I can't really say. So I do apologise. But yeah, hopefully somebody will answer in the comment section below. Okay, so the second part of question one is, do I prefer... that's not even English. That wasn't even it. That wasn't English, was it, Dave? I was trying, Dave. Not hard enough. Anyway. Moving. So, do you prefer two or point... His mind is unravelling. Okay, so do you prefer 2 or 6-point tremolos? Got there in the end. Well done, Dave. You're so clever. Go and get a biscuit. Don't go and get a biscuit. You're filming a video. Anyway, hi. Do I prefer 2 or 6-point tremolos? Okay, so just if anybody doesn't know what a 2 or 6-point trem is. Okay, so vintage Strats, like Mr. White here. I suppose he is vintage now, isn't he? 2002. This is a 6-point tremolo because it's got 6 screws holding the bridge down. Okay? So that's a 6-point tremolo, and that invariably means, you know, it's old. It's a vintage style tremolo. 2-point tremolo, like Mr. Chapman here, where it's just, the tremolo pivots on 2 poles. Okay? So like that. So that's the difference between 2-point and 6-point tremolos. For me, personally, 6-point trems rule the roost. I don't mind 2-point tremolos, but certain 2-point tremolos, you can't lock them down. It's one of the things I really love about these Chapman guitars is they're 2-point tremolos, but you can screw them down to the body so they go flush, like I have all my guitars. And I really like that. On my Brian May guitar, you can't do that. You know, no matter what you do, that is always floating. And I've played a couple of US Fenders with 2-point tremolos where it always floats, or it doesn't feel quite locked down enough. You know, and some other guitars as well, G&Ls, and some other guitars where it's got a 2-point trem, and no matter what I do, I just can't seem to get it to sit right. You know, so... but for me, the vintage 6-point trem with the 6 screws, that's my favourite. I just feel... when I play a 6-point, I can feel the difference because I've played a 6-point trem so much. 2-point trems feel really light. I mean, I don't like ridiculously heavy tremolos. I only ever use 3 springs in the back, usually in parallel like that. I don't think I've got any guitars that aren't in parallel, actually. I think they're all parallel springs. But coming back to the trem, I can kind of feel the difference. Like, there's 2-point trems to me feel a little bit lighter, whereas a 6-point trem, the vintage style trem that looks like, it's like on Mr. White here, I feel like I can really get behind it, and I like to really give the tremolo a lot of abuse, so it really helps. Is that Mr. White's glaring at the screen, isn't he? But I feel like I can kind of get behind a 6-point more, and it just feels better to me in my hand when I'm messing around with the trem. 2-point trems are great, they really are, but for me, 6-point rules the day. I just prefer it any day of the week. They just feel better. They really do. Like I say, 2-point just feels too light, and I don't like it. So yeah, people with a tube boat. Question to you, this one: which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the vintage style 6-point trem, or do you prefer the newer style of 2-point? Let us know in the comment section below. Okay, so moving on to the last part of question 1 is, have you tried a Vega tremolo? I have no idea what that is. Vega to me is a character from Street Fighter with the mask and the big hook thing on his hand. I have never heard of Vega. I will look it up after this, but no, I haven't. But and I probably won't, because being creature of habit, I don't really feel the need to change anything. But I will look it up, and I'll have a look, see what the deal is with the Vega Trem. Let's have a look. Let's have a look now, people of YouTube, quickly. Why not? Let's just give this a giggle. Let's see what happens. So this is my reaction video to the right give over. Anyway, I'm in a weird mood today, people of YouTube. Not in a bad mood, which is nice. I feel a bit hyper, which is always good. Because yesterday I felt like rubbish. So today feeling hyper is a good thing. Vega Trem. Wow. Okay, so it's like a 4-point tremolo. Interesting. They look quite interesting. Oh, very weird. You can see that, people of the tube. Yeah, interesting. It's like a 4-point trem. You're missing out the 2 middle screws, so you got 2 on each outside. So EA and B and E. Oh, you do have 2-point trems as well. They don't seem to do a 6-point, but I've never seen them before. Oh, they pivot weirdly. Oh, that's weird. That's interesting. Would I like to try one? Yes, I would now, but I can't afford one. But yeah, maybe at some point I might give one a go. If money dictates I can. Very curious now. That's cool. I've got to say, being a creature of habit, I'm not really interested in kind of change things, but I'm curious of how that works. Like, because it seems to just like pivot at the back. It seems to like lock down and then pivot. I don't know if that's right. That's all I can see. But what do I know? But maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. Not right now. I do apologize for my phone dinging. But yeah, maybe in the future we'll give the Vega Trem a go. But Vega to me, it just reminds me of Street Fighter and the character Vega from Street Fighter, especially on the Super Nintendo. I always remember playing it, and I always remember finding him being really tough to beat. And it was a cage fight, wasn't it? I think. I don't know. Anyway, I'm moving on from my childhood memories of playing Street Fighter. Okay, so voice, come back. Okay, so so that's the question. Going to move on to question 2 now. So question 2 today is, what's your top pick out of the young ones? Bottom, Filthy Rich and Catflap, and the Dangerous Brothers. So for people who don't know what these are TV comedy series. UK comedy series that basically had always had Rick Mayall and Ade Edmondson in them. The young ones also had people like Christopher Ryan and Nigel Planer in it. Planer, can't speak today. Filthy Rich Catflap had Nigel in it as well. But it's mainly Rick Mayall and Ade Edmondson who are on my wall. Right there. And the reason they're on my wall is because they're big heroes of mine, especially Wick, should I say. I'm Wick Mayall. I love reading Rick Mayall quotes. Somebody asked him, like, do you have moments of weakness? He's like, I don't have moments of weakness, I'm Rick Mayall. It's just like, I'm going to get sad. But which is my top pick out of those 4? So the young ones, bottom, Filthy Rich, Catflap, and Dangerous Brothers. For me, it's got to be bottom. because that's what I grew up watching. That and Grimm's Tales with Rick Mayall as well. I mean, I always like the young ones, and I still do love the young ones. I love Phil Fitch and Catflap. I think it's absolutely amazing. I love Dangerous Brothers. But bottom for me is Head Dog, if that makes any sense. Head Wolf. Let's go there. That's cooler. I just prefer it. I just love it. Okay, again, growing up watching it on television, I remember it used to be on the BBC at like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, something at night. And my dad used to let us stay up and watch it, even though, like, I was really young and shouldn't be watching it, technically, but didn't do me any harm. It's all good. I love it. And I'm just forever grateful that I was able to watch it, because it's just left such a mark on me that's so positive. You know what I mean? It's just such a positive memory of mine. It's such a positive part of my life that I can kind of revisit when I watch the episodes or listen to them. I managed to get them on CD. My right ear started ringing for some reason, but like I say, every time I watch Bottom, it really brings me back to a really awesome part of life when I was younger. It's all, I swear Ed Edmondson and Rick Mayall named it Bottom, not just for the fact of the strange titles of the episode, because every episode is named for something silly after the word bottom. So you get S up, which basically when you put it to bottom, it says bottoms up. And then you'd get like accident, so bottom accident, or bottom break, or stuff like that. And I love the fact that like all the episode titles fit with the word bottom at the beginning. But I swear they named it Bottom just for the simple fact of you had to go around saying, you like a dirty little perv going around saying, I like Bottom. You know what I mean? Yeah, which is exactly that kind of humour. You know what I mean? So I swear they named it that just because. And it just makes every time I say it, it's so funny. And you've got to be so careful, like, saying that. I love it. Oh, I love it. I'm so terrified of, like, saying it to the wrong person one day. It's like, oh yeah, do you like Bottom? It's just like, it comes across totally weird. So you got to be aware. But I swear that's why they did it. I could swear that's why they did it. It's just got that silliness to it that Rick Mayall and Ed Edmondson did so well. That really distinctive humour that those two had. It's just, that's it. And I'm so grateful for that, and I'm so grateful to like my dad let me watch it when I was younger, because I used to love it, and I still do love it. And like some of my favourite episodes just stick with me, and every time I watch them or listen to them, they just fill me with so much happiness. And Rick Mayall is a big hero of mine. Again, growing up watching him in stuff like Bottom, The Young Ones, Phil Fitch and Catflap, Dangerous Brothers, and also watching him do Grimm's Tales, which is like should be like what's the word? Compulsory for kids to watch Rick Mayall doing Grimm's Tales, in my opinion. It's not going to happen, but it's just my opinion on it, because it's amazing. And Rick was always there somewhere in my life. And my dad's kind of got that kind of humour. My dad is like him, so there's always that in there. And so he's always had a massive part in my life. I remember watching Drop Dead Fred for the first time and just being absolutely in hysterics with it. Like I say, Grimm's Tales was amazing. I still listen to Grimm's Tales now with him. I still watch Phil Fitch and Catflap, Bottom, The Young Ones, Dangerous Brothers. Anything with Rick Mayall in it, I will watch because I love the man, and I love Ed Edmondson as well. And my dad noticed something the other day, and I've never realised this before, but Rick Mayall was always that guy who, because he appears in like loads of things, like Blackadder and that kind of thing. He was always the guy who stole the show. You can see why he didn't appear apart from a couple of times in Blackadder. Not to steal Rowan Atkinson's thunder. That was the reason, because every time Rick Mayall came on as Flashheart, Rowan Atkinson was basically pushed aside. It's like, hello, it's me! And it didn't matter. At that point, it was the Rick Mayall show, starring Rick Mayall, directed by Rick Mayall, music by Rick Mayall. He just stole the show, because he was just that charismatic human being. And even more so, I would say, than Rowan Atkinson was. You know, Rowan Atkinson's cool, but Rick Mayall's cooler. Sorry, Rowan. But you can see why he didn't appear much in that. And you can see why he kind of drove people a bit balmy as well. There was that incident with Stephen Fry. But the fact is, like, there's only one other actor who Rick Mayall ever let get one over on top of him. And this is what my dad pointed out the other day, and it's Ade Edmondson. Any other actor who Rick Mayall was with, he would show them up. He would he would overact, and he would show them up, and he would basically steal the show from them. Eddie, or Ade, would always be the one who would win, who would always come out on top over him. You know, in bottom, in, you know, all these other things. Like, he was always the one who he let through. And when my dad told me that the other day, it really hit me quite hard, actually, to be honest with you. And it does now, thinking about it. And I think that's just awesome. And again, I can't imagine what Ade Edmondson went through when Rick, you know, passed away. I can't. It must have just been horrific, because that's like his. Not only his writing comedy partner for all these decades, that's his friend. You know, that's like his best. That's like, you know, it's not friend at that point. It's family at that point. You know, they were, you know. It's just heartbreaking, and the world needs people like Rick Mayall. You know, it really needs people like Rick Mayall, because they add that levity to the, you know, to the harshness of life, which we all have to go through. And he was one of those people that could just kind of like make life seem just better just by watching him or listening to him. He had that voice. It was just so comforting all the time, and it breaks my heart that knowing that he's not here anymore. I mean, Rick Mayall will be immortal. He will never go away. He can't. It's impossible. But he's not physically here. You know what I mean? He only lives in memories and in TV series and stuff like that. And I really wish I'd got a chance to meet him. People I know got to meet him, and I never did. And I really wish I'd met him. I had a dream, actually, after he died, that I did meet him. I think I've said this before, but I had a dream I met him. And we were at this like weird meet and greet in this pub, and he was there, and we got a couple of things signed by him. And then somehow I was sat out the back in like a beer garden-y thing with him at this table and two chairs. And say you're me and I'm Rick, I wish. There was like a metal fence here, and basically the pub was over there, inside of the pub was there. It was a really sunny day. There was a metal fence here, and right there was like a canal, it was like a river. And on the other side were buildings. And we were talking, and he was making me laugh and howl. We were just Rick Mayall. And then all of a sudden he got really serious, and he just stopped talking. And I just remember he looked to his right side like that, and he just said, "Isn't it sad that I'm not really here?" And that's stuck with me. I don't think I'll ever forget that, and I really hope I never forget that, because it was really kind of poignant. But the whole idea of like, isn't it sad that I'm not really here? Yeah. So yeah, that's, you know. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna have to move on because I'm getting funny about it. So bottom to me is the standout thing from all those things. I say there's also Grimm's Tales as well, but I love them all. Like I say, Rick Mayall is just like a hero of mine. You know, he's one of my biggest heroes outside of music, Rick is, because he just, like I say, he just adds levity to life, because life is hard. And there's that amazing quote from Rick, isn't there? It's like, you know, he doesn't, what is it? I can't remember exactly. I don't want to paraphrase. Let me find it quick. But yeah, well, he had so many amazing quotes, Rick did, but there's this one about him being stupid. Yeah, I may be gloriously stupid, but if that helps people to forget the grimness of life, then I'm happy. And that is, perfect. And that is, I feel that's a way to be. Don't be afraid of being stupid looking. Don't be afraid to be laughed at and stuff like that. And as long as people are happy, as long as you're making people happy, then that's okay. If you can distract people from the darkness of their situation or whatever, if somebody's upset and you can distract them and make them happy for just distract them from that, then that's everything, isn't it? In my opinion. But at the same time, you get quotes, some amazing quotes. I don't think I can repeat them on here, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't repeat half of these because I'm sure somebody would have a problem with me saying them. But yeah, it's funny how somebody you've never met can have such a massive impact on you. And it's the same as these guys on the wall here, Jimmy, Rory, John, Peter Green, Mike McCready. All these people have had massive impacts on me. Rick, Aid Edmondson. They've all had massive impacts, but I've never met any of them. And unfortunately, it's impossible for me to meet some of them now. But it's amazing. It really is. Life's a funny thing. It really is. Anyway, let's move on because I'll be there all day talking about Rick Mail, which I could very easily do, people with tube. So I'm going to move on now because otherwise I'll just talk about Rick Mail and we've got questions to get through. Okay, so the next part of question 2 is when's the next Blues installment? The other day. And like I say, at the end of every month, I'm going to try and do everyone at the end of every month if I can. There might be some months where I don't come up with something, but I will try and do one at the end of every month. Okay, so going to move on to question 3 now. Okay, so question 3 is, this is going to be the quickest answer in the world, people with tube. Are you ready for this? Okay, so question 3, this is going to be the quickest answer I've ever given in an A&Q Wednesday ever, okay? And I promise you that. Okay, so question 3 today is, I've always wanted a wah pedal. Should I get one? Yes. Okay, so question 4, told you. Okay, so question 4 is, I find my Katana 50 very bright when trying to get a classic rock tone. Did you feel the same with yours, and how did you deal with it? No, I didn't find my Katana to be bright at all. I found it to be perfect. I can make it go bright, but again, the thing is, like I say, when I dial in the Katana, I don't use the treble. I don't use treble really at all, unless I'm using my pedal board, because then I'll just want the amp to be sparkly clean. And even then, the only amp I ever used treble on with my pedal board has been my Orange Ziz, because I have 2 now, and the Sub-Zero fake tweed amp, because I never use the treble on the Marshall MGs, or the custom actually for that matter. So yeah, there are certain amps that require me to use treble, but only when I use my pedal board. If I'm going straight in, I never touch it. So, but I would use either mid-range or presence. I mean, in all fairness, I could be happy to do away with treble dial on a lot of my amps. It never gets used. I've just never liked it. I've never liked it at all. It's never sat right with me at all. But yeah, so I've never really found it to be bright. I mean, if you find it bright, maybe try that. Maybe try turning down the treble and not using the treble, and using the mid-range instead to brighten it up instead. But again, even then, I've got loads of videos on how I've set up my Boss Katana 50, which again I keep looking because it's just sat just there. Which the Katana 50 is still one of my favourite amps I own. It's one of those amps I'll never get rid of. I've got the 50, I've got the 100, and I've got the Artist. I am happy dandy with that one. Happy dandy? Why not? But yeah, I don't find it bright. I don't find it tinny or whatever. I just find them amazing. I think they are absolutely spectacular amplifiers in every way, shape, and form. They're just out of this world. Katanas are. Boss nailed it. They really did. Especially with the Artist. I mean, I know the Artist is the more expensive model, but the functionality of the Artist is like, the way that thing functions is like my perfect amp. I could go to a gig with the Artist. It's with the K switch and a wah pedal, and have everything I need. It's insane. absolutely insane. And this is from somebody who doesn't like to rely on amps for his sound. I like to rely on pedals. But I would go to a gig with, if I had to go, if say for instance like just a jam session, and I didn't want to miss out on certain effects, I could take the Katana Artist and be happy. Same goes with the Katana 50. To be fair with you, I know it's only got 4 channels, but I have my Katana 50 set up with bank A, 1 and 2 is it A? Yeah, bank A 1 is clean, well, John Frusciante clean, and then bank 1B, no, bank 1 2, bank A 2, my God, is distortion. So I can go from clean to distortion, and then if I want with a foot switch, I can go to bank B number 1, which is a overdrive Jimi Hendrix kind of blues tone with a univibe on it, and then bank B2 is for my pedal board, and it just works. Those things just work. I say, I can't rave enough about the Boss Katanas. I really can't. Absolutely insane amps. They really are. Like I say, 3 favourite amps of mine of all time: Marshall MG, Orange CL120, Boss Katanas. Amps have to go a long way to make me go, wow. The Fender Stage is probably the one that comes closest after that. Those 3 at the top, and then the Fender Stage is literally just below it. Although I love the Fender Stage so much. It's my favourite Fender amp. Even over the Deluxe Reverb that I've got, the Tone Master, the Fender Stage beats it, hands down, for my opinion. Might do a shootout one day between those 2 amps, the Fender Stage and the Deluxe. People of the tube, would you like to see a shootout between the Fender Deluxe, Tone Master, and the Fender Stage? Let me know in the comment section below if you'd like to see that. Because I'm curious. Because I have them both set up downstairs, and they both sound amazing. Love them to bits. But I know I've never found my Katana 50. In all fairness, I can get my Katana 50 and 100 and all that to go really dark, which makes me very happy because I don't like bright tones. I like them to cut, but I don't like to be harsh. Hence why I love mid-range so much, and presence, because I feel presence just adds sparkle. It doesn't add harshness. It just adds cut, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I've never found it to be really nasty or thin or boxy or all these other words that people like to use to describe it that I've seen on the internet, which I don't really understand. But that's me. I'm not supposed to understand it. I'm not them. That's the way that works. We all hear things, perceive things differently, and that's the way it should be. But to me, oh my God, my love for Katana 50, or the 100, or the artist cannot be understated. But yeah. So what was I going to say? Yeah, if you're finding it a bit bright and thingy, just turn the treble down. And if you've got access to the Tone Studio, you can turn down the presence as well. And you can also go in there and you can actually graphic EQ the thing, to more to your ear. It's the perfect amp. The way it works, there's nothing you can't do with it. You can get it dialed into exactly what you want it to be. And it doesn't take a lot. If I can do it, and I'm really stupid, people with you bear that in mind, with technology and everything, if I can work the Tone Studio and get the amp to kind of work the way I want it to, then anyone can, because I am literally thick. So anyway, no love lost for me, is there, with myself? You noticed that, people with you? I'm very, very harsh on myself, aren't I? Anyway, but yeah, if you're finding it a bit bright, try to turn the treble down. I would always recommend getting the Tone Studio. You don't need the Tone Studio to get the Katana to sound amazing. You can do it all from the top panel. You don't need the Tone Studio at all, but it is cool. And it does give you access to all sorts of different sounds, like the Univibe, which to this day, the Univibe in the Katanas is the best Univibe I've ever heard and played with. It's just perfect. And I've done videos where on my Instagram where I've been messing around trying to get the machine gun tone, the Jimi Hendrix machine gun tone, which to me is the ultimate Univibe tone. And it's really close. It's scarily close. And like I say, to me, the Katana's Univibe is the best Univibe I've ever heard. It's just immense. It really is. So, but yeah. There you go. Yeah, so it is what it is. So anyway, so I hope it's answered your question. I hope it answers your questions today. Okay, I hope there's something in there you can all take away, and I hope there's something in there that makes some kind of sense. Nothing else to say. So if you want to submit a question for A&Q Wednesday, description box below has an email link. Email me there. And I will see you again for on Friday for another vid. Have a great morning, afternoon, good evening. And yeah, goodbye now. Thank you much indeed for watching.